Today we look at a few ways to build confidence, reduce overwhelm, and the tools available to us to clear the mind. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to Live Mindfully with Laurie Moore, the podcast that invites us all to slow down and take a deep breath. Today I am discussing confidence, and in particular, how we build it. We all know people in our life who seem to be confident in every situation. They seem to always know what the right thing to do is, and the opportunities seem to seek them out. We might even call these people lucky, but it's not luck they have on their side. It's confidence. And I'm defining confidence here as the feeling or belief that one can have faith in or rely on someone or something. And in this particular case, those who have the confidence I am talking about believe in themselves. They believe in their ability to handle whatever might arise. They trust that they have enough information and resources to tackle whatever issues come up for them. Or they know someone somewhere will, and they have faith that they will be able to find that person or that book or that place where they can seek the help that they need. And that's a big difference between people who are arrogant. Arrogance is defined as unpleasantly proud and behaving as if you are more important than or know more than other people. Confident people know they don't have all the answers, but they also know they are resourceful. And it is my belief that we lose our confidence because when you see kids, most kids are really confident. And I believe that is because, especially as babies and then toddlers, they are surrounded by people rooting for them. They receive cheers and encouragement when they open a drawer for the first time or stack blocks for the first time or they take their first step. But as they become more independent, maybe we don't celebrate their wins as much, or maybe they take more hits and slowly that chips away at them. But as life goes on, we tend to lose confidence in ourselves and in our abilities to trust that we are capable, that we are resourceful. And I think that that also can happen at different stages in our life as well. And I see life as pretty simple. In fact, I very strongly believe that we have a tendency to overcomplicate things. We have a tendency to overcomplicate life. I read a meme once that said, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes on it now. You know, when we overcomplicate situations or experiences or even our own feelings, we lose confidence in our abilities. And of course we do. Because now it is so complicated, we don't even know where to begin. And when this happens to me, when my mind starts spiraling out of control, I do two things. First, I stop. I take a deep breath and I say, Laurie, you're overcomplicating this. You're getting yourself into a tiz. Now, I am not, unfortunately, and this is one thing I am working on and think I will probably need to work on this for the rest of my life, but I am not the kind of person to say, okay, let's take a break from this and we'll come back to it later. No, sir. If there is a problem, I need to solve it, and usually immediately. Like I can't sit with problems for a really long time. And that has created some issues for me in the past and has resulted in me taking swift action where maybe a little bit of space and a little bit of time to think it through would have served me. And what I've come to realize is that I actually don't need the solution. I don't need the solution to the problem, but I do need a plan of action. My mind needs to know at least what the next step is going to be. And so the second thing I do is I ask myself 2 questions. What is the first thing? Just the first thing that needs to happen here. I don't think about the enormity of the issue. I don't think about all the negative outcomes that might occur. I do consider what the absolute best outcome might be, and then I let that drive my behavior in terms of the best case scenario for me. What is the best first action I can take here? And the second question I ask is, how do I take this action and cause as minimal disruption as possible? Now, this question I have only brought into my repertoire about 6 years ago, and let me tell you, this has been a game changer in terms of building my confidence. Because when we hurt others, we also hurt ourselves. And this chips away at your confidence and your soul. It makes it hard to handle life's ups and downs, whether consciously or unconsciously, because deep down, you know your actions hurt others, and you didn't take enough time to consider that beforehand. And once I have my first step and I have considered the outcomes of it, my mind relaxes because it has a plan. And I execute my first step, maybe not immediately. Maybe I do that in a few days because I can now sit and I can be calm and I can let the water recede a little bit before taking action because I have a plan. But the fact that I know what to do next, it just chills me out. It calms me down. I'm no longer overwhelmed, and I have built a little confidence in my ability to handle a complicated issue because I'm only looking at the first step, and then I manage all other steps one at a time from there. Now, a housekeeping issue that needs to be addressed at this point is managing all of those times where the outcomes to things in your life has led to you losing confidence in yourself. All those times when we let life overwhelm us or knock us down or make us feel small. And we need to release them. And there are so many ways to do this, but we need to release them because this is energy stored in our body, in our muscles, in our cells, and in our mind and in our heart. And if we don't do some spring cleaning here, all of these failed examples that have chipped away at our confidence, they're taking up space in our internal wardrobe and they are going to keep beating us up from the inside out. So you might like to try journaling or therapy. Maybe movement's your thing, going for a run. Maybe you've got a lot of anger and resentment built up, and that's one of the reasons why you're not confident. So try screaming into a pillow, or beating a pillow with a soft bat when the really hard ones come up. Or if that's not your jam at all, maybe meditation, if you want a softer approach. Or if you've screamed so much your throat is sore. But I would encourage you to find something that works for you. And each day, ask yourself, why don't I feel confident to make this decision? and then listen to what comes up. Because all day, every day, we are making decisions. And if we are not confident in our decisions, there is a reason why. And the greatest way to find that out is to ask yourself that question. Why don't I feel confident to make this decision? And it might be a particular decision that whenever it comes up, you flail and you're not sure what to do, and you invite a whole bunch of other people into the conversation and you ask them what they would do if they were in this situation, but you haven't asked yourself. You haven't listened to the reasons why you don't feel confident. And maybe discussing that with a qualified professional is what intuitively feels best. And don't ever feel ashamed by that. Maybe you feel like you can handle it on your own, but if you've tried that in the past and it hasn't worked, there are qualified professionals out there that can assist. But start listening to yourself. Start listening to the negative things that come up when you're trying to make a decision. And then, and most importantly, start listening to your own intuition and wisdom that comes up too. Because often we have that negativity rise and we try and shut it down. But what follows that negativity is usually something full of wisdom. And this might be a long process. It might sound like a long process to you. Believe me, it doesn't take long. But if you don't start clearing out that negative buildup of energy within you, then you're going to really struggle to build confidence. That really is something that we need to do. We need to look at the times when instead of considering your first step, you leapt too many steps or jumped right into step 5. Or maybe your actions hurt others. And that's not to say that you weren't also hurt. In fact, you probably were. And you have every right to be cheesed off about that. But unfortunately, revenge or giving someone back what they deserved is usually an interim feeling. That good, righteous feeling we feel wears off, and rather quickly. And it impacts our confidence in ourselves. So start releasing each day, releasing the built-up experiences that have led to you no longer feeling confident in yourself. Try movement, try dancing or yoga. Try therapy or journaling or meditation or screaming into a pillow. And then as new challenges arise, and they will, this is a part of the journey of life, work on keeping your house, your body, your mind clean. In Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, which is what most yoga is based on, the second sutra of the first chapter is commonly translated as stilling the fluctuations of the mind. The mind is what often gets us in trouble when it comes to our confidence. And one of the ways we work toward ceasing the fluctuations of the mind is by engaging another yogic term, sorsha. And sorsha is the Sanskrit word for cleanliness. And it is the first niyama in Patanjali's 8 limbs. So if all of these words and concepts are brand new here, there is plenty of information on the internet if you want to learn more. So I like to think of this often as our minds are a lake. And some lakes are really clean and really still, and you can see the reflection of the sky. Some lakes are really busy on the surface, and you can't tell where one ripple starts and another one ends. And then some lakes are really, really murky. And when we have a really murky lake or a really busy lake, we have 2 jobs. The first is to clean the lake and remove the obstacles out of it that are causing the issues. And then the second is to stop putting extra things into the lake that don't need to be there. And I like to think of this as It's so easy to clean the stuff on the surface first. And it's likely that that stuff was only recently put in there. So it's really accessible to us. It's easy to grab that rubbish or those rocks and pull them out, the weeds or whatever is in there. And some of the best ways that we clean the surface of our lakes, of course being the surface of our minds here, is with some solitude. A little bit of solitude each day that we dedicate to cleaning our minds, dedicated to removing the muck, dedicated to removing the rocks. And then the second is discernment. Don't let every little thing upset you. Don't let every little thing become your problem. If it isn't going to matter in 5 years, then don't let it matter in 5 minutes. Choose to let it go. Don't let it become another ripple on your lake. Don't let another person or situation throw another cheeseburger wrapper in there. And I promise you that as you work through cleaning your lake and minimizing overcomplication of your life, your confidence will go through the roof because there is nothing you can't handle. There is no problem too big for you because you work one step at a time. Because you are resourceful, you have gifted yourself space to think things through. You have considered the first potential next step and how that will impact you, your family, and others. And you are not letting past experiences dictate future ones. I want to thank you so much for listening today. It has been an absolute privilege sharing this time with you. And as always, I thank you for your support. If this episode has resonated with you, please share it across your socials and with your family and friends. Next week, I have a very special guest joining me, so please hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss it. Until next week, take good care of yourself.